All right. Hello, and everyone. Welcome. We've got a good one for you today. My name is Sean. I'm with the University of Laverne Small Business Development Center program. And today's webinar, Google Business Profiles and Local SEO, is brought to you in partnership with the City of Glendora. So as we get things started, I'm really excited to welcome someone very special to help us get things kicked off. Today, we're joined by Tiffany Chu, who's the Economic Development and Housing Manager for the City of Glendora. Tiffany does some amazing work supporting our local business community, and we're really glad to have her here with us today. So without further ado, please welcome Tiffany. How are you doing today?
Good afternoon, Glendora businesses. We are excited to have you here for our small business workshop on Google business profiles and local search engine optimization. First of all, thank you to the Small Business Development Center at the University of Laverne for partnering with us. Sean and Joshua are great in supporting our Glendora businesses. And so today, I hope you'll learn practical, easy to apply strategies that will help your businesses get discovered, stand out in local search results, and connect with more customers who matter the most. And so, with that, I'll hand it back over to Sean and Joshua. Thanks again for having us.
Well, thank you so much, Tiffany, and your partnership and the City of Glendora to help local businesses. It's truly commendable, and it's great to be in good company with you. But like you said, let's jump right into it and let's look at today's presentation. I'm excited to announce our speaker for today. As Tiffany mentioned, his name is Joshua Boteo, and he will be walking us through how to optimize our Google business profile to help us get found by those searching online. Josh is a business associate here at the University of Laverne SBDC, and he has a tremendous amount of experience helping businesses market their business. And today he's going to share with us some of the pearls of wisdom that he has. So without further ado, I'll turn it over to the man, the myth, the legend, the one and only Joshua.
All righty. Thank you very much for the introduction and welcome, small business owners. Like Sean said, today we're going to be talking about Google business profiles and local SEO. And let's start off with a little statistic. Something that might surprise you is that 90% of all consumers who are searching online for local businesses before stepping outside of their homes. They're not strolling around their neighborhoods anymore. They're scrolling through search results. And the first thing they see is going to be a Google business profile. Today's customers make decisions in seconds. And if you have a Google business profile that's incomplete, outdated, or unoptimized, you're not only missing out on visibility, but you're missing out on traffic and even sales. So in this training, we're going to learn exactly how to turn that free Google business profile that you have, turn it into a powerful tool for visibility, credibility, and conversions. Because in this digital world, your storefront isn't just your window display, it's going to be a search result. So let's cover exactly what we're going to be doing today. So we're going to focus on four things for Google business profiles. The first thing is we're going to do a quick overview of how to create one if you're just getting started. We're going to cover how to audit one if you already have one so that you can start discovering what is compared to your competition and how to get over that. The third thing is that we're going to show you how to optimize your Google business profile and what grows your visibility online. And then finally, I'm going to show you some tips and tricks on how to use AI to supercharge this entire process and make management of your Google business profile a lot easier, because a lot of times small business owners get overwhelmed in keeping up with it. So we're going to make that a lot easier for people who are going to actually use it. A little bit of background before we begin. Like I said before, my name is Joshua, and I'm here from the University of Laverne SBDC. We're one of 1,000 centers that are funded by the SBA that helps small businesses get started and grow. We do that in a couple of different ways. We do that through free one-on-one consulting and through free resources and workshops just like this one. If at the end of this workshop you still have questions, I'm going to cover how you can get some free personalized help at the end of this training. But let's get started. Let's first look at the way your business can show up online in search results by either creating or what they call claiming a free business profile. So we're going to run through this real quick. This is more of the basic stuff, and we'll try to get through this as much as possible so we can get to the actual applications. But a Google Business Profile is one that has information on the right side of search results, as you see in the little thing right there. This information can show up on Google Search and on Google Maps if you're looking for a specific business or location. Now, like I said, the image on the right shows the results page, and it's highlighted on this page, and we'll show you what ours looks like a little bit later and what some might look like so you can get a better idea of what information is there that we're going to cover. But think of your business profile as sort of a digital storefront, as I mentioned before. It allows you to showcase some valuable and current information that helps customers figure out when, where, and how to visit your business. Once you create the profile or claim it, which is called verification, you can manage your information and as it appears on Google Search and Maps. So if you need to change something, you can. There is a dashboard that you can use to update all of that information so you can manage it effectively. And so you can also get more reviews, help customers, and connect with your business. A business profile can only be created for businesses that have a physical location. We'll get into that a little bit later. And that they can either go to or that you travel to the customer. Now, the general rule is that the business must make in-person contact either by going out to them or them coming to you. And to get started, if you don't already have one, you can go to google.com/business and open up your own business profile if you don't already have one. For the most part, when anything that comes with Google, you'll want to have a Google account. And if you already have one, you can sign in. For most Google products, you can just sign into an account if you already have a Gmail. And this opens up a lot of different applications like your calendar, Gmail, the Google Business Profile itself, Gemini, and a bunch of other plethora of tools for like Google Workspace and other things like that so that you can basically connect to everything. If you don't have a Google account or a Gmail, you can set one up at accounts.google.com and sign up. But we'll assume that you already have one and we'll move on. Once you sign into your Google account, and if we're going to be starting up a Google Business Profile, you can create one from scratch, or you can claim one. The process is going to be a little bit more of the same, but we're going to start one up just if you're just starting out. So the first step is to type your name of your business as it should appear in Google. If you already have one, your information will show up and you'll just need to verify. But if you're typing it in and it comes up, that's great. If not, you can just put in more information and then you can confirm the business if it's there. If not, we'll put in some more information for you're just starting up. Now, the other thing is going to be a business category. And so for a business category, you want to make sure that you have something that's close to what you're doing. It's like an electrician, a dentist, a restaurant, those kinds of business categories. You'll have to put in there, but for the most part, they have a lot of them, so it shouldn't be too hard to figure out which one is good for your business. And then we'll push next. Now, you'll be asked to choose whether or not you have a physical location. This is really important because businesses cannot use a P.O. box when it comes to the business address. You need to use a physical address. Think of it like this way. You wouldn't want customers to show up at a P.O. box at the post office. You want to make sure it's a physical address if you want them coming, or if you don't want them coming, it will not show up at all. And you can hide those things if you go out to your customer. Those kinds of businesses are called service area businesses. And you can make it so that there is a specific service area so they don't come to you. If you meet at a specific location, like a coffee shop, or you go to their location, like a notary or something. This can be helpful. Many service area businesses like plumbers or lawn care don't have physical offices, or they're home-based businesses, which we'll talk about a little bit later, and they're not open to the public. So service area businesses can still appear in Google Maps and Google Search. They'll just be highlighted with an area that they serve and not a physical location. So if we do put in an address, we'll need to enter in the actual address of the business. You don't want to put in any extra details like cross streets or anything else like that. You'll just put in the address itself and the suite number if you have one. Again, business PO boxes are not allowed. They're not considered accurate physical locations, and so we don't want to do that, especially if you have one that is like a rental mailbox from, say, like a post box, etc., or something like that. Now, if you have if your business has a physical address that customers can also visit, but then also delivers goods, you can actually do both. So you can be a physical address and then also have a service area that you can put in, and we'll show you a little bit more of that, but just to let you know, you can do both. And then what you'll need to do is you'll need to put in the actual postal codes, cities, counties, anything else that will encompass your service area. You want to make sure that information is there. Now you'll be prompted to put in your phone number and your website URL for contact. You'll just put that in there. If you don't have a website, you'll check that off. Otherwise, you'll put that in there, and then we'll go next. So if you have a service area, your business did not enter an address, so it won't show up on the actual Google search. Don't worry about it. That's completely by design, but you want to make sure that you have that information on there, even though it doesn't show up. You'll still have to put in a mailing address, but it won't show up. But during the verification process, if you have somewhere like a PO box or something that you don't check often, you may have to worry about that because if you do it by postcard, it may take a little while to get to you, and you want to make sure to have that verification ready because that code does expire in 30 days, and we'll talk about that a little bit later when we talk about verification. And speaking of verification, there are a few different ways that Google does verify your information to make sure that everything is good and to make sure that your account is activated. They can do it by phone, by text, email, mailing the postcard, and then also a video one, which is usually the last-ditch effort and is not very good for the business owner because you have to do a lot of recording and things like that. But whatever verification method is easiest for you, you want to make sure you do that. And you want to make sure that you are doing the verification as soon as possible, so then you can start updating things. And if you're not able to, there are some resources for you that we'll talk about a little bit later. But once you get the verified code and you get verified, you want to make sure that in the meantime, you don't update anything. You want to make sure that information when you first signed up is going to be the same once you get verified. Anytime you change anything, the verification may not go through, or it may change and it may take the process longer for you to get verified so you can actually do stuff. And that's pretty much it. If you do have any difficulties, Google does have a appeals process and an actual process to go through. If you're not able to get verified, you get suspended for some odd reason, or you get your profile disabled. They do have a special tool to help with that if you do need it, and you will get the slides with the links to this so that you can actually do that if that comes up. But once your profile is created, you're going to be able to do a few things. You'll be able to change all your information, update it if you move, a bunch of stuff. But you also want to make sure you have a habit of updating and reviewing the information, doing posts and other things that will optimize it. We'll talk about those things. And we'll want to make sure that you can measure your performance. And we'll talk about that as well once we get into the audit, which we're going to do now. So let's take a look at how we can audit our profile if you already have one and get ahead of the competition. So this is going to be the audit, basically spreadsheet. We'll go over a demo of this, of how we're going to be able to do it. But let me give you a quick rundown before we actually do something. What we're going to do is we're going to search for a specific keyword, say like a type of business in a location. So like say a restaurant in Glendora. And then we're going to compare the top competitors who are in what they call the 3-pack. Those are the top 3 search results. So we can compare our business to their business and see what are they doing better than us. So then we can start competing against them and actually getting more visibility online. Before we actually get to the audit, there are a couple of tools that you may need that we employ here. The first thing is going to be a bright local SERP checker, and I'll show you what that actually looks like before we actually get into the audit. This basically mimics a local search so that you can get accurate rankings. So like I said, if we're going to be looking for a restaurant in Glendora, it's going to mimic as if we were searching from Glendora, the city. If I were searching, say, from Verne for a restaurant in Glendora, it actually may mess up or mess with the search results. So it might show me stuff in Verne because it thinks I'm from Verne, which if I'm doing from my computer, and because we're from the University of Verne, that will actually happen. But the other tool is going to be GMB Everywhere. It's going to give us a little overlay using a Google Chrome extension that will be able to give us a little bit more information on the Google Business Profile at hand, stuff you can't normally see. The other tool is going to be Plepper. It gives us a little bit more insight about other categories and other information that you wouldn't normally be able to see. So I'll show you how that works. And then the last thing is going to be My Web Audit. This is a paid tool. So if you don't want to do this entire audit process, which actually doesn't take that long, maybe takes 20 minutes, you can pay to actually get it done for you, and it'll get put into a little actual report for you that I can show you a little bit later. But let's actually look at those tools. So we'll go to the next. We'll go to demo, and here is our first tool here. As I said, the Bright Local SERP Checker. So like I said, if we were going to be doing a restaurant in Glendora, and we were to search for, let's see that. If we were going to be searching for a specific restaurant, we can see all of these different restaurants and where they are and what the results are. Now, the results do change. So if you're going to be doing an audit, you want to make sure you do an audit right then and there, because these results may change. Actually, these results did change from a few hours ago when I checked this before. So you want to make sure that you have the updated information when this happens. The other thing is, if you'll see these orange things on the side, that's going to be GMB Everywhere. That's the tool. And so you can actually, if you're going to be doing this, you can do it on Chrome. It's a Chrome extension. It's free. And what it does is it gives you information like category finders and some other stuff. There is a paid version, but if you just want to use the free stuff, you can get the basic information here and some other nice little tools. Like I said, the other tool is going to be Plepper. Like I said, it does give us more information on the side here, and I'll show you what that looks like when we actually do the audit. And then finally, the Google My Web Audit tool. Like I said, this is a paid tool. So if you don't want to do the whole audit process, you can do this and pay a little bit of money and get this done for you. But we can do this just as much with no money, using a couple of different tools that are free. So let's actually get into the audit part of it. So with the audit, I did pull up some example things. We're going to be doing a dentist in Laverne. Most of our businesses that are around in Laverne are dentists, so this seems to be the one because this is probably the most competitive industry. But what I did was I pulled up 3 different dentists who were the top ones at the time. And so we have 1, 2, and 3. So what we'll do is we'll basically just take a look at them real quick and find the information, and I'll point out a few things. And we're going to be doing as a hypothetical dentist. If we're going to be competing, say we're new and we have competition here. So the first thing we're going to be looking at is going to be location and keywords. A dentist in Glendora, or a dentist in Laverne, or restaurant in Laverne. Those are the keywords that we're going to be looking at. So we're going to be looking at the type of business and the location. And that's where we're going to be checking on first. Does the name of the business have the keyword, and does the name of the business have the location? For some of these, they do. Like Pomona or Laverne Dental, those have the keywords in both and the location. So then we'll just mark them yes or no, and then move on. So it's really, really easy. The next thing we're going to be taking a look at is the categories. Now, categories are a little bit interesting when it comes to Google Business Profiles because you only get about 1. If you're going to be using tools, you get more information. So that's what the tool is going to be very, very valuable when it comes to auditing. And so the most that you get would be dentist right here. Now, with the Plepper tool, we're going to get a few more categories. And so what you want to do is you want to have as many categories as you need for the services that you have so that you can start competing on that level. So for us, if we just have 1 keyword, say dentist, we're competing against everybody who has dentist. If you have more categories, say like emergency dental service, orthodontist, cosmetic dentist, hygienist, those are more keywords that people can be searching for who are looking for other things than just a dentist. So you're able to get more visibility out of it. And so if you have more categories, you get more visibility, and the more categories you have, the easier you may make it. And so there are 9 categories, up to 9 categories that you can work here. You don't have to use all 9. If you have more, that's fine. The next thing would be, do they have a website? Website equals visibility. More connections, what they call backlinks, is an SEO term. And the more backlinks that you have will increase your visibility online. And so if you have a website, that's a good thing. If you don't have a website, you might want to get one or figure out how to do one that's very easy to do, like a Google site, or something really, really easy like Square or Weebly or something else that Sean does talk about when we talk about building a website. The next thing is going to be what they call a local business markup. All this is a fancy term for SEO. And if you have a sitemap, or you could use what they call a schema validator tool. All this means is your website up to date, and does it have a sitemap that Google is actually indexing, and does it show up? And that's all you really need to know. It's really technical, so if you don't, you may want to work with a web developer who is able to do that for you. But if not, you don't really need to worry about it at this point unless you really want to get nerdy with the technical details. But the next section is going to be a prominence audit. And here's where we start getting into the things that actually work with visibility online, especially with Google Business Profiles. We're looking at reviews. So the more reviews you have, the easier it will be for people to find you, because that's what Google actually rewards. And then also the star rating. So hypothetically, we have 60 reviews and a 5-star rating. And even though we have a 5-star rating, if you have more reviews that are at or higher ratings, they will have more visibility online with the Google Business Profile. So even though, according to our checklist here or our audit tool, even though this one has 95 reviews at a 4.8, it might be more visibility online, but we want to make sure that that stuff is higher. We strive to do that. As far as the higher review counts, say like 349, even though they have more reviews, they may have a lower rating, and so we want to build up that rating a little bit later. Same thing with this third one, 46 reviews at 5.0. We may actually outrank this one because we have more reviews at the same star rating. And so you'll have to take a look at those things and compare and contrast. The other thing is going to be third-party reviews. So if you have reviews on Yelp, if you have reviews on Facebook, those are things that Google does count. And you can look at those things on the back end in the dashboard and add those channels if you'd like. And then also if we have social media profiles like Instagram, Facebook, X, and a couple others like Pinterest, I believe, and then again, Yelp, the more channels you have and the more that your business is prominent on, then that will also build your visibility. Like I said, backlinks are a big thing. And so the more you have, the more visibility you'll have online and that people will actually see. And I'll get into a little bit, we'll actually show you what the University of Verne SBDC does a little bit later and where our information goes and how it gets put up there. The last thing is going to be a little bit more, not technically nerdy, but also marketing nerdy. So if you have a lead generation form, what they call, basically just a way of bringing in emails so that you can market to them later. If you have something like that, that will, you would mark that as a advantage to yourself. Again, if you have a phone number so people can call you, if you have an offer like a coupon code, and then social proofing, that goes into more of the social profiles. YouTube, the more you're at, the more your visibility. So let's take a look at some other things when it comes to optimizing your Google Business Profile. So now that you have a kind of a good understanding of what an audit tool does, we're going to get a little bit more into what actually is optimizing and how to actually take those insights and start applying them. And don't really worry about the audit tool too much. Like I said, we do provide help and some guidance, and I'll show you how to do that a little bit later. But for optimizing, we're going to cover 4 different areas. We're going to cover how to do the Google Business Profile description. We're going to talk about some photos and videos and how to put those up there. We're going to talk about how to optimize your posts. And then we're also going to talk about reviews. And reviews are a big thing that we're going to say for a little bit later because those help visibility the most. But let's talk about the business description real quick. So this is the first thing that most customers will see when they search for your business. And you want to make sure that you have this information put on your Google Business Profile and it's putting your best foot forward. With the Google Business Profiles, they added this feature about 1.5 years ago, I want to say, that they'll use Gemini to actually create the description for you. And you can basically do suggest description, which is this little part right about here. And so you can have AI kind of write it for you. Now, this is good and bad. You want to make sure you have enough information in there so that it actually does an accurate description of your business, and that is actually helpful. The tool does write a draft for you. You can enter in details about your business, what you want to make sure that it's accurate enough, and those features reflect the business, your business, accurately. You want to help by getting it started with the first draft and then have it kind of wordsmith the rest of it to make it sound great. And then again, you want to make sure you review it for accuracy. The tool is really good, but you want to make sure that you have as much accurate information as possible. AI does mess up sometimes, and so you want to make sure that it's good and you're not overselling the business if those are things that you do not do. So the next thing we're going to be talking about is photos and videos. Photos and videos are really good when it comes to your business. They can help you stand out. And you can simply add them by adding photo on your Google Business profile. There's a little thing on your, let's take a look. Well, I'll show it to you on our dashboard when we get to it, so that you can start adding those things. But it's just a little button that says add to photo. And then you can add a logo, you can add a cover photo, and some other general photos to help your business stand out so they understand what they are. Other photos you might want to take a look at are going to be like establishments. So the outside and the inside of your business, storefront, signs, things like that. A group photo with the team so people can understand who you're working with. Maybe an individual photo so that people can recognize who they are interacting with if they come to your store or your business. Some products or listing shots if you do have products, which you can put on your Google Business profile if you'd like. And then some services either in action or the results. And we'll kind of take a look at that a little bit in the next slide when we talk about what some tips are. But nerdy stuff, photos have to be JPEGs or PNGs. There is a file size of at least 10 kilobytes up to 5 megabytes. These are all like technical details. The minimum resolution is going to be 250 by 250 pixels, so a little square like that. You can put in videos, so 30 seconds max, 75 megabytes maximum, which is not very big, and then 720 minimum. You can do 1080, but you'll be restricted by size and data, so you want to make sure that if you are working with somebody who's editing or you're doing the editing yourself, you want to make sure that you have those constraints in mind. So a few more tips for great photos is you want to have well-focused, well-lit image and highlight some features of the brand and showcase what you do. So like I said, when I was talking about the services and how to show either in progress or in results, this slide actually shows you if you're some kind of remodeling or construction contractor, you can see, hey, these pictures are well lit and they're focused. They know what you're doing. It makes it easier to understand what's in the picture. Same thing with like concrete or any other type of plumbing service or anything else like that. You want to add your storefront, your products, services, maybe how the product is made, shipped, or packed. Maybe you can give a tour of your space as a video, highlight an employee, show an unboxing of a new product that you're getting in. A lot of those things, a lot of ideas you can come up with for adding things to your Google Business profile. You definitely want to include a logo and a cover photo, as I said before, and you want to avoid what's called phone stuffing. Don't include phone numbers in your images or your videos as more like an advertisement. You don't really need to do that. And actually, Google will penalize you for that because it goes against their content policies. So you want to make sure you don't do stuff like that, but adhere to all the regulations when it comes to what Google says about posting content on that profile. The next thing we're going to be talking about are posts. So there are ways to make posts that we'll get into a little bit later. But what exactly are posts? Well, posts are updates, offers, and events. And so you can use updates to share announcements, highlight important details, and you can include a photo, a video, or a link with a call to action for them to view your website or see some other kind of information that's off the Google Business Profile. So that is important. You can use things called offers, which are basically advertisements and promotions. So if you're doing a sale, if you have a coupon code, anything else like that, you can put that in there so that people can click on it and actually get more information and start shopping online. And the last thing is going to be like events. Events can be promotions, workshops, celebrations, fundraisers. I'll show you a little bit more about how we do it because we did one specifically for this workshop that was a while ago, and we can show you what that looks like and get a little bit more about how that works. But what you can do, basically, you would go to add an update, and I'll show you what this looks like. And then you just put in the information about either the update, the post, the offer, or the actual event. And really, you're just filling in the fields and making sure that information is there so that when it gets posted, it will be visible for people to actually look at. So let's take a look at what this actually looks like. So let's go here. And here's our Google Business Profile. And so here are the updates here. We can add an update, just like I mentioned before. And so we can do offers, updates, events, and we can add in more information as we're going along. We can schedule the post, which is a new update that I like. I've been wanting to schedule posts for the longest time, and this makes my job so much easier. But you can add buttons, call to actions, and all kinds of other things. So either updates like blog posts, offers, again, like sales, and then the events, just like this workshop. Speaking of this workshop, we created one right here. We created this a while ago, and we scheduled it out so that it would show up so people can search for it online. And we do get some people looking at it and registering online from this. So it gives us a lot of information about the business and the workshop and a way for them to sign up for the workshop if they'd like. And so you want to make sure when it comes to stuff like this, you do it weekly for posts and updates. They will stay visible for a week. For events, they'll only stay visible until the event passes. So this will actually fall off right down here, and then the next one will be here until we post a new update. So really easy. It doesn't take a lot of know-how when it comes to stuff like that. They try to make it as easy as possible just so you can build visibility online. So let's go back to our slides. And the next thing we need to talk about is going to be reviews. Now, reviews are a big thing because reviews are probably the most important thing when it comes to visibility for a Google Business Profile. And it's something that you want to make sure that you are managing effectively. And so positive customer reviews can build your credibility and trust. And the more, the better. But what we need to do as a business, you want to be able to ask for them. So you can do that in the Google Business Profile, and I'll actually show you that right now. So how we do it is you can ask for a review here, and it comes up with a couple of different ways on how to do it. You can do it through email, social media, a link, and this QR code. And the QR code is a little bit interesting because we do it for people who are in our office. In fact, we actually have one right here. So when anybody comes by into our office and they want to be able to do, they do an in-person appointment and they're really satisfied, they can scan this right here and they can leave the review. And it's really, really easy for them to do it. A lot of times people will say, well, my customers don't really know anything about computers and stuff like that. They don't really need to. So let's do this real quick. So if I copy this link, and let's just say we go to paste that real quick. If I sent them this link via an email or something that they can click on, it'll come up to this. And so they can put in how many stars they have, write a little blurb, add a photo if it's something physical, like a product or a service, and they can just post. That's it. There's no technical knowledge to doing this at all. We want to make it as easy as possible for people to leave us good reviews and for also us to manage how many reviews that we get, try to build that up as much as possible. So, like I said, we're able to send those out as much as possible and get as many as we need. Like I said, there was a pro tip. We copy that link and we use it sending out an automated email after certain appointments so that if they had a good experience, they can leave us a review so we can maximize the amount of reviews that we get until we make sure that we get good reviews. And, it's as easy for them as possible. All right. So, managing reviews, getting reviews is one thing. Managing reviews is going to be something a little bit different. So once you're able to respond to reviews, this is where things can get a little hectic. And also there's a fine line that we have to kind of walk along when it comes to managing them. So Google reviews can be accessed by the business profile and also with in the back end on the dashboard, and we can read those reviews. They are public, so everybody can see them. And we want to make sure that we respond to them as much as possible. And so responding to them, we need to be professional and polite. We want to make sure that we keep the responses a little bit short, sweet, polite, professional. We don't want to get too crazy when it comes to, the positive reviews as much as we want to sing our praises. But we also want to respond to them as promptly as possible. So we try to do it within 24 hours. Especially a lot of people like to leave reviews either overnight or right as we're leaving our office. But we try to respond to them as quickly as possible. You want to try to respond to reviews, whether they are good or bad, and we'll talk about that a little bit later, as quickly as possible. We don't try to use our responses to advertise. We always want to thank happy customers. So if you get a positive review, thank the customer. When issues arise from negative reviews, you want to make them constructive and resolve them either offline or privately as much as possible. And so when I say constructively, I mean businesses will often ask advice about negative reviews, and the first thing they want to do is, well, how can I remove them? You want to be as gracious as possible, but if you think there might be a fraudulent review, they want to get rid of them so they don't have a blemish on their record. The thing with that is Google does not allow that. So Google won't remove a review, even if it's a negative one, unless it violates their content policy. So you want to encourage business owners to respond, or at least we do, as much as possible. and engage the customer constructively, encouragingly to resolve the issue and not just say, I just want this review gone. We don't promote that. We don't advocate for that. So if the customer does publish the review and then they want to take it down, that is going to be their choice. They also have the ability to modify it or delete it. So if you do resolve the issue and then they go back and modify the review saying, oh, they fixed my issue and then adjust the stars, that is their prerogative, but it's not something that you should advocate for or pressure the customer to do that. You shouldn't do that at all. It is going to be their choice to do whatever they want with that review once it's made and once it's posted. So all of that said, let us get to supercharging your business with AI. We covered a lot today. It's really, really fast. Like I said, we do have help for you. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But there are ways to make this entire process a lot easier, and I'm going to show you how to do it, and we'll also show you the resources that you're going to be getting after this webinar. But let's take a look at what we're going to be using AI for. So like I said, AI is probably all the rage. You can use your AI of choice. I tend to use Gemini specifically for Google Business Profiles just because it kind of works a little bit better. But you can use ChatGPT, you can use Claude, you can use, DeepSeek, whatever. Whatever one that works best for you, you can use it. But we're going to cover a few different prompts that will help you manage your Google Business Profile. And like I said, we're going to have a free resource for you that you're going to get in an email with all the prompts that I'm going to show you and how you can actually supercharge your Google Business Profile. We're going to talk about the profile description. We did a little bit earlier. Like I said, Gemini does a good job, but you may want to kind of draft it beforehand before you put it into the Google Business Profile. We're going to talk about something we did not talk about earlier, which is going to be frequently asked questions and how those work. We're going to talk about planning and creating posts. Because you're probably looking at it and you probably said, well, what do I write? Or how do I put those things together? It's just a bunch of little boxes, but what do I actually do with them? I'll show you how to do that. And then we're going to talk about responding to reviews. Now, you can respond to them off the cuff and, with your own mental capabilities. But if you have a lot of them and you want to make sure that you actually respond to all of them and make sure that they are constructive and as professional as possible, you want to be able to use a tool to help you do that. Some people aren't really good with their words, so you want to make sure that you are putting your best foot forward. So let's go back to our little demo screen. And let us go, like I said, I'm going to be using Gemini. Now, this is the Gemini screen. If you didn't already know what this is, it is free. You can sign up and register your Google account so you can get a little, you don't get more features for it. But if you want, if you working with a workspace account, if you have one for your business, you can actually get Gemini with a few more pro features, which is what I have here. I have it through the university, so we're able to do a few more things. We don't need that specifically for this, but just so you know, you can use it if you'd like. Alrighty. Just a point of information. Remember when I said about the web audit that you can pay a few bucks to do this? I use Gemini to create this report. So if you want to use AI and you want to actually have a plan of what to do and how to do it based on your information that you had for your audit, Gemini will actually make this for you as well. If you'd like, we can talk about it. If you schedule an appointment and we can actually create this for you using a few prompts that we developed that are not in the resources because it's not something that most people will do. but you can do this if you'd like. AI is really good for stuff like that. But let us go to the first thing is going to be the profile. Right now, I have a few prompts that we can go through. I make prompts for stuff all the time. I developed all these myself. So let's go here. What we're going to do is we're going to create a business profile description. So I'm going to do this really off the cuff. You can put in your own information where these brackets are about your business. But I'm going to cheat a little bit. I'm going to use and University of Laverne, SBDC, and I'm just going to actually use our website. And I'm going to use some information about us and grab that. This link. And Gemini will actually wordsmith a lot of this stuff, grab whatever's on our website, and put this together. If you don't have a website, then you may want to, again, use the information in the brackets. But just for demonstration purposes, this makes it really, really easy. And this is basically what we have on our Google business profile. So University of Laverne offers no cost consulting, low cost training, East San Gabriel Valley, expert guidance from our team, regional SBDC network. And that's basically what we have for information. It's said a little bit differently, but it's basically all the information we have right here. So that's what we use. We did this a while ago, so this is the information we're going with. We don't like to change it too often, just for trust purposes, but it's basically the same information. And so in 5 seconds, we were able to put together information about the business for the profile, which is really, really good. So the next thing we can kind of work on is going to be, let's get rid of that, is going to be frequently asked questions. So what frequently asked questions are that frequently asked questions about the business that people might ask you. So when are you open, what do you do, things like that. And so what we'll do is this huge long prompt for this information. And so what we'll do is we're going to take this first part and we're going to tell Gemini to create some frequently asked questions for us based on what the business or what our organization SBDC does. And so it's going to come up with a few different things that we can use or not use. So actually, let me do this. So we'll share. This is the information about the business profile. So use this link for information. And so we're going to get a lot of course. Anyways, and this is basically just going to be a demo. What it is, so we have an example profile. If we were a bakery, we're in Laverne. These are the products. These are the kinds of things that we have. These are our core offerings. And so what are the frequently asked questions that people might have? So do you do custom cakes? Do you do gluten-free or vegan? People might ask that. Do you have any specific breads or other things? Can you handle large-scale orders or catering? If people are looking for the business or looking for things about the business, these might be questions that you can either answer or have at the ready for those kinds of questions. And we can get a little bit more into if you do ordering or do have more services you're offering, what are those specific questions and those specific answers? So like I said, it comes up with a lot of stuff, but you don't necessarily need to use all of it. It's AI. It's not a smoking gun or a magic button. You need to think about certain things. So if this looks good to your business and you put in the right business information, you don't have to use everything it gives you. So the other thing is for answers, if we have specific frequently asked questions that we want to go with, we can actually create the answers for that. So that's what this second part of the prompt will do, is it will create those frequently asked questions and create the answers for them. So you can kind of wordsmith that part of it. And so these questions are, basic ones and they have basic answers, but if you want to wordsmith them, they can be a little bit more promotional, and you can have them work that way so that you are actually getting your best foot forward when it comes to stuff like that. Next thing is going to be generating posts. Now, there's some, like I said before, there was some specific information you needed for posts. Location, maybe some primary services or what the business does, information from the Google Business Profile. So what we want to do is here's some demo information that we have here. But if I wanted to, say, create an update, what we want to do is we want to figure out what kind of update we want, and also wordsmith a lot of the either headlines, the descriptions, and just have information about that kind of stuff. So here's more of a demo of this stuff that I'm not really going to put it to Gemini because we already have it here. So if we have a dentist in Laverne that targets seniors and families and children, open 9 to 5 like it normally does. We have a professional tone, and there are specific seasonal things that we do, community involvement, and our unique selling proposition. But we can put together that information about it and what it's going to cover. For updates, we can actually put together a profile schedule. And what that means is that, like I said, if you have a profile, you want to update it at least once a week. And so what this update or this AI prompt will do is schedule out those prompts for you based on the information that you give it. So say for the dentist, they are busier during, say, the summer months or right before school for kids, then it will focus more posts around that area towards kids, and then maybe seniors or adults every other time. And so you want to have that rotation strategy put together so that you're putting out information like that. Now for us, it's going to be a little bit different because we have a blog. So with the blog, what we do is we have something like this. We create a blog that has business information that people can go to, tax planning, succession planning, a bunch of different small business topics. And so what we'll do is we'll use some of these prompts to put them for these updates. So every update we have has some kind of wordsmith type of updates that we put together. So they can be long, they can be short, they can be workshops, events, things like that. So this is more of a strategy that we've created that's not necessarily AI, but we already have a different strategy for posting, blogging, content marketing, and stuff like that. So if you want to do something like that, you can, if it's going to be different from the actual that AI doesn't do for you. You can do that as well. But let's go back to, what are we talking about? Oh yeah, reviews. That's going to be the last thing. So reviews, like I said, you can request reviews and you can put in information about requesting reviews, like we have one that we have in our booking system. Every time somebody has an interaction, we'll send out a review request if they've done like the second or third specific, appointment, so that they can give us feedback on that. We also have a different survey as well, so we can get more long-term feedback, but you can use something like that as well. And then we have positive reviews and negative review actual prompts. So let's go to Gemini, and we're going to be, let's see if I can copy all of this. So what we'll do is we'll put this here. And I'm going to run through this real quick because this is going to be a positive review response. So if you have a bunch of positive reviews and you haven't responded to them yet, you can use this AI prompt and it'll actually do it for you. And we'll see what it actually comes up with. And short and sweet, thank you so much for this wonderful review. We generally delighted to hear our team was, patient, knowledgeable, friendly. Our consultants, are committed to doing what we can to help clients succeed. So fairly generic. It's a little bit more fluffy. You don't have to use something like this. You can move the words around. You can actually ask it. Give me more options for responses. And it'll give you multiple responses. So you can choose between one or the other, and it'll give you options. So you don't have to use the one that it gives you, and you don't have to use everything that it gives you, but you have options. You can mix and match however you want. So for negative reviews, I had to actually happen to find one from a restaurant because it was kind of hard finding negative reviews that we have because we don't really have any. But let's go to using one that is a negative review. And let's see what it does. Again, we need to be more constructive and try to move things offline. So that's built into this negative review response template. So we'll see what it gives us. Says it's thinking. Okay. We severely apologize. We're owning up to whatever mistakes we have, but then we're also having feedback and making sure that we're able to resolve things offline. There's a demo phone number and some way to get a hold of us to make things right. Really easy. Again, you don't have to use this specifically. You can use something else. And you can, again, ask for more options if you want it to sound a specific way, or if you have some kind of branding guide or something like that, you can use that according to that to make sure that everything falls in line with how the business is supposed to sound. And so that's really it. I mean, again, you can use AI for a lot of different things. I use it for a lot of different things. And you can mix and match and do a bunch of different stuff. Not everything can be done with AI, but a lot of stuff can be, and especially if you want to automate all of the things that you're doing, especially with managing the Google Business Profile. But that is about it. So finally, managing your Google Business Profile can be the biggest free action that you can take to moving the needle for your business. Now, you don't have to use all of these strategies. You don't have to use everything that we talked about. If you just focus on one thing, whether it be responding to more reviews, maybe posting more posts, maybe actually using posts or using, the updates, the events, workshops and stuff like that. If you just use and focus on maybe one thing for now and then start expanding those things, you can actually move the needle, get more visibility online, and help your business grow. But you're probably thinking, what if I still have questions about optimizing the Google Business Profile? What you can do is you can set up a free one-on-one appointment with us and work with a consultant on any one of these things, all of these things, how to manage your profile, how to set up one if you don't already have one. And we can do that by giving us a call. So you can give us a call at 909-448-1567. And if you are online right now via Zoom and you're watching this because you registered, you can give us a call as soon as this workshop is over. And if you want to schedule an appointment, you can. I'll be right next to the phone, which is right here. You can give us a call and we'll schedule you an appointment to meet with somebody to work on it with you. But if you're also watching this on, say, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, anywhere else that's not Zoom, you may not already be a client, in which case you want to sign up as a client at lavernesbdc.org/new client. And you'll get to this page right here that says Get Started. You'll press the red Get Started button and you'll start putting in the information about the business or the business you may want to start if you are just getting started. And then you can get more information and we can set up an appointment for you there once you get signed up. But that is it. Thank you for watching. Thank you for joining us, with the City of Glendora to help small businesses, especially in Glendora and Laverne and wherever you're at. But thank you very much for watching, and we will see you in the next one.